Before the break on FC Basel against Manchester City, because we were talking about Man City, and then before we discuss the rest of the Champions League, we'll ask Damali to take us around Europe and have a look what's going on. So, Chris, Basel versus Man City, I was doing some stuff on this morning, and it turns out that Basel have actually beaten quite a few teams at their home ground. They have lost to Arsenal 4-1. Surely Man City will go there. Oh, yeah, sorry, Arsenal, yeah. Do you know what? I didn't even realise. But Arsenal, yeah, they lost to Arsenal 4-1. Surely we expect Man City to go there this afternoon and finish it off.
Yeah, you would expect Manchester City to come and dispatch Basel. However, Basel have surprised us. They've beaten Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken.
Beat Chelsea, they beat Man United. They lost 4-1 to Arsenal. They also beat Liverpool. So they've almost got the full set, if you like. They just need Man City and Spurs to complete the set. Hopefully, they get knocked out by Man City and then Spurs knock Man City out. But, you know, carry on.
Yeah, you can dream, Michael. You can dream.
I do.
So what I expect to happen, I do actually expect Basel to get some kind of a result because they do tend to turn up for this type of game. You think for that kind of team in Switzerland and the fans, it's going to be absolutely huge playing the English top dogs. But however, over 180 minutes, I do see Manchester City going forward to the next round.
And do you think that I mean, we talked a bit about the break about Manchester City. Do you think that Man City can win the Champions League?
See, now that is the question, and I think that's going to be the big test. They've quite clearly won the Premier League. They're in the League Cup final.
Carabao is the word you're looking for.
The Carabao Cup final. Can they go on and win the Champions League? Pep Guardiola can Manchester City can. I don't see why not. Under Pep Guardiola, with the players and the quality that they've got, just depends. That's the thing about a cup competition. Can you do it on that particular night? You can do it in England. Can you go to Spain? Can you go to Germany and beat those top teams there? It remains to be seen, but I think that'll be the test for Manchester City.
Okay, we shall see. We will continue our Champions League roundup very, very shortly. If you want to get involved, you can. Give us a call on 0208 191 7078 and we will happily take your call. We'll have a chat with you about the Champions League. Now, though, I'm delighted to say Damali's going to take us around the rest of Europe. Damali, it's all yours.
Yes, as usual, it's been a very entertaining weekend of European football. If you want to kick it off by starting La Liga, Madrid.
Yep.
Yeah, they seem to be back to winning ways. They won 5-2.
Ronaldo got a hat-trick in that game as well, didn't he?
Ronaldo.
Some good goals in that game as well.
Yeah, and apparently Gareth Bale came on for the last 20 minutes. Do you expect him, Damali, to play in the Champions League?
I expect him to because he's a top quality player. But his injury record of late has been bad.
Yeah, I'm a Spurs fan. I know well.
You know what I mean? But I was quite happy with the performance of them, though. I think that Vasquez, obviously he came in for Bale, Asano, and they played really well.
Okay, and the rest of Spain, Barcelona, I take it, are running away with that league?
Yes, well, they kind of got a surprising 0-0 draw with Getafe.
Yeah, Getafe, obviously, their local rival, so that's a bit like Spurs-Arsenal, Chris, just to bring that back up again. I know you really enjoyed that game. What else is happening around Europe, Damali?
Also, just another point, Atletico Madrid won, also 1-0.
Yeah.
So they continue to try to cement second place. Looking away from that, we go to League On. PSG once again, they're dominating.
Running away, aren't they?
Neymar again on the score sheet.
That's a surprise.
It's like a playground thing at the moment.
It is, and you bring up the Spanish League and the French League in one go there. Obviously, Real Madrid play PSG this week. Obviously, someone who watches a lot of European football. Is there anything you see there that Real Madrid can stop PSG, or do you see Neymar just running away with the game like he does?
Well, Real Madrid they're very good in European football. I mean, obviously they've been very poor in the league lately, but I think they can step up and show that they are champions after all. So I think they can show they're still in a way. But let's be honest, innit? Form matters. And I know in cup competition you can say the form goes out the window. But they've been in such a rut of late. I don't see them really taking PSG apart.
Okay. They've got 180 minutes of football. Who do you see coming out on top?
I would like to say Madrid, but I think PSG will edge it.
Okay. Chris, your thoughts on that game?
To be honest, see PSG edging that game. I think Neymar is going to find so much space. I think he's going to find so much room. The Real Madrid confidence at the moment and morale, which is very, very important. It doesn't get mentioned enough, if you ask me, is very, very low in the Real Madrid camp at the moment. That's what you mean. Cup competitions, it really does come down to who wants it on the day, but morale plays a big, big part in that. They're flying in France. Real Madrid have been out of sorts. Cristiano Ronaldo simply has not performed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not been the worst player in the Real Madrid side by a long way, but compared to the heights that we see Cristiano Ronaldo hit, he's really, really disappointed me this season.
11 goals in La Liga. Very poor return.
Okay, so is it Ronaldo or is it Zidane, the problem at Madrid?
I think it's Zidane.
I disagree. I think after a little while, you see with Chelsea, when you win, when you get to the heights of they got to replicate that in the following season is very, very hard. And they did it twice in a row.
But the top teams do. The top teams win and retain titles.
Yeah, but look, Barcelona, they did it for a while, and then they went back down. Chelsea, they do it, they go down, up and down. I think it's hard to retain that same form year in, year out. It's very hard.
Okay, so if we take those two teams, let's say whoever your choice of person to go through is it surely going to be one of them against Barcelona if they don't get drawn out beforehand? Or can you see Man City or maybe even another English club creeping in there?
I don't see any other English club other than Manchester City creeping in there, but sorry, Damali, go on.
Yeah, for me personally, I think it's going to be a PSG Man City final.
Wow, that would be an awesome final. What else have you got from us for around Europe?
Yes, returning back to the French league, Monaco second in the table. They also won, convincing win over Angers, 4-0 win.
Okay.
Moving away from the French league, going into Germany. Second player Leipzig, they won as well, 2-0 over Augsburg. Bayern Munich once again, they won convincingly over Schalke, only 2-1, but they had loads of chances.
Yeah,
Lewandowski and Müller on the score sheet. They should have won by a bit
like Spurs against Arsenal. They had loads of chances, only won by one goal.
Should have put 4 or 5 in.
And also, while you're in Germany, Batshuayi's gone to Dortmund and seems to be turning up for the games, and he's a different man. What on earth is the difference playing for Dortmund rather than playing for Chelsea?
Well, I think obviously the Premier League is much more fast-paced, physical league.
You get so much less time, so much less space.
Exactly. I think Bundesliga is a bit more relaxed and where you can have a bit more time.
Relaxed translate to boring, or?
I wouldn't say it's boring because I do watch the Bundesliga and it's a pretty good league, but it's not the same pace as the Premier League.
Okay.
But regardless of that, I do think Batshuayi is a quality player.
Yeah.
I think he needs an arm around him and confidence, and it seems like he's gone to Dortmund and he's getting that.
So obviously he's stolen Aubameyang's celebration and he does the little flip as well.
Yeah.
Is that a little kind of salute back at Chelsea, or is it Aubameyang, or is it just Batshuayi enjoying himself?
I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's a bit of everything. Obviously, he's that kind of character, you know what I mean? And
Batman, if you will.
Yeah, this is it. And I think he
wears a mask and a cape and everything.
Exactly. But I think it's kind of something to do with Chelsea as well, showing you, look, let me go, but look what I'm doing over here.
Okay, fair enough. Anything else for us?
No, in Serie A, Juve, they won again 2-0 at Fiorentina. They 1 point back. Napoli, you also won. Played some amazing football.
Very high on confidence, Juventus at the moment.
But Napoli, they're still 1 point ahead, and they played some amazing football, beating Lazio 4-1. Dries Mertens, he's an awesome player.
Okay, so 2 points I want to take from that. Before I pick up on Chris's point, because don't think I didn't hear it, don't think he didn't grin at me with a massive smile, telling me how good Juventus were. I watched Fiorentina Juve on Friday night, and there was a penalty given. Now, I don't know if you two have seen this. There was a penalty given, Buffon standing there. Buffon, by the way, which I found out means clown in Italian. Did you know that today? That's a true story. So Buffon's in goal for Juventus. The penalty's given. The referee draws his little square. We have VAR. 3.5 minutes later, he gives Juventus a free kick because there was a Fiorentina player offside. We won't get into the whole VAR debate, but that's ridiculous, isn't it, surely?
3.5 minutes.
3.5 minutes.
Now, what's that going to do to the atmosphere inside the stadium? What's it going to do to the mood on the pitch? What's it going to do to the pace of the game? Just slow it down. I mean, I luckily haven't been in a stadium yet. No, I've not seen VAR myself, but from what some of my fellow fans tell me, in stadiums all around the ground, it just slows it down. And the fans don't really seem to have any idea about what's going on. And 3.5 minutes to review a decision like that, I think if you are going to be using VAR, it's got to be 45 seconds or less.
Yeah, look, I agree. Damali, it's going okay in the Italian league. It's more progressive than it is in the English league. Do you think it's there to stay in Serie A?
I think it is. I think it's a positive thing. It's a positive thing. I think that we do need technology in football. But when you look at it at the same time, I've heard a lot of things, a lot of pundits saying, and coaches saying, the VAR, the time that's spent on looking back at the decisions, is not only affecting the atmosphere in the game and everything like that, but also with injuries, all the muscle strains back because the players are just sitting around for which isn't good. 8-9 minutes, so
warming up, warming down.
Yeah. Or you could be like Daniel Sturridge, get on the pitch for 2 minutes and then leave the pitch. But we won't go into that now. Okay, so in the 5 minutes or so before we go to the break, Juventus are playing Spurs. What I don't quite understand is the first leg is tonight, so it's the 13th of February today. The next leg is March the 7th. Now, I know UEFA play them across 3 weeks because they want to split it up for TV. It's all about TV. But, Chris, you had a big smile on your face when Damali told you how good Juventus were. They've only conceded, and wait for this, 3 goals in 11 games. So, where on earth are Spurs going to score against them tonight?
I think you've got to look for the big man, Harry Kane. I think he's got to find that little bit of room, and he's got to find the bottom corner, and he's got to put it far away from Buffon, because he is a top quality goalkeeper. And bearing in mind, this is Buffon's last season. He comes so close to the Champions League. Now, we'll point out that Juventus have only lost three Champions League ties. 2 of those have been finals.
Okay.
Which is a huge statistic, and I wouldn't, if I was a Tottenham fan or player, I wouldn't let that get inside my head. But I think they're going to struggle.
Okay, Damali, so as a Spurs fan, if you gave me a 2-1 loss tonight, I'd take a 2-1 loss because we've got that away goal. I personally think that Spurs can do Juventus at Wembley. Do you think the same?
It's possible. You know what I mean? With the likes of Harry Kane up front, it is very possible. But as Chris said, you know what I mean? In the last 5 games, they've won all 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're a formidable team up front and in defence.
And in the middle of the park as well.
Yeah.
Let's remember, let me just bring these 2 boys back down to earth. Spurs won their Champions League group. Juventus finished second. Spurs beat Real Madrid. Spurs beat Borussia Dortmund. Does that mean anything?
Not really.
Thank you. I knew that was going to be the answer, but I just wanted it on live radio for you. If you're enjoying the discussion, let us know. You can call us 0208 191 7078, or you can WhatsApp or text 0788 74 75 940 even. I'll read that again for you. 0788 74 75 940. There's even a slight rumour it might be live on YouTube as well. I'm kind of looking at
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm hearing. Is that right? Oh, we look good, apparently. Oh. That's the producer telling me that, just to make sure I turn up for Saturday's show. So I'll just point that out. But I think I look fat. But we'll welcome any comments that you want to give us. We will come back after the break. I'll just finish the Champions League off very quickly. When we come back, we're going to be discussing what's going to happen in the Emirates FA Cup this weekend. I'm going to ask the guys. I personally think the FA Cup's a waste of time now, but we will ask the guys what they think. Champions League then, finishing it off. Liverpool go to Porto, is the other English side out of 5 English sides that are left. They should get past Porto, Chris, shouldn't they?
They should, but it's Liverpool, and they're so surprising. They can be so consistent, and they can beat teams so convincingly, and then have a big test and just kind of crumble. However, they have got some fantastic players in that side. We mentioned a couple earlier. Firmino, Salah. It is absolutely amazing what those players are doing. Do I see them beating Porto? Yeah. Do I see them doing it comfortably or convincingly? Nah, I don't think so. In over 180 minutes, I find it difficult to call. I think we might even see a penalty shootout.
That's fair enough. I'll take Chrissy's point there, Damali, that it is Liverpool, and they tend to do a Liverpool to themselves. You watch a lot of European football. Porto aren't the strongest European team, but they're not that bad on their day, are they?
No, they're a good team. You know what I mean? They're top of their league. 3 points, 2 points clear of Benfica.
It's a competitive league, that as well.
Yeah, and they won the last game against Chivas 4-0. They're in good form, and they are a good team, and they've got an offensive team and a good manager. So, as Chris said, Liverpool, it depends what Liverpool turns up.
Exactly. Now, we obviously saw the Liverpool that turned up against Spurs, and we saw the one that turned up against Southampton, if you compare those 2 games. If you look at it, though, Liverpool have surely got to go literally for everything, because they don't have a game at the weekend. They got knocked out of the FA Cup by West Brom. So anything less than 100%, gents, is appalling, isn't it, from Liverpool?
Yeah, and there's absolutely no excuse, especially when you've not got a game at the weekend, because I've played competitive football up until I was 18, and when we had a cup game on Wednesday, we were very, very aware that we were also playing again on the Sunday, and that's at a low level. We'd rest certain players. I was always played in the slightly less important cup game, but we won't talk about that. But we'd rest certain players, and it wouldn't have an impact on the squad. And sometimes, if a game went to extra time, I know this game won't, but it can be in the back of your head that we've got to play on Sunday. Liverpool don't have that this weekend, so you really expect them to go out all guns blazing. I'm expecting a really, really strong group. I want to see intent. I want to see them press, and I want to see them do what Liverpool can do. Because as an English fan, as much as it hurts me to see other teams better than ours, I do want to see English teams progress in the cup, except Spurs.
Wow. And he says that sitting opposite me. He's within an arm's length if you're watching us on our live YouTube stream. I can reach him, so you may see something else on that YouTube stream very shortly. As I say, you are listening this afternoon to ABN Radio UK. It's Sports Link Up. It's with me, Michael Kitchener. I'm delighted to say I'm joined not only by Chris and Damali, but also my wonderful producer Kente is here. He's sorting out the online stream that you can watch. You can contact us as well, 0208 670. No, that's the old number. Let me give you the right number, 0208 191 7078. I'm going to rip that old number off. Or you can WhatsApp or text us, 0788 74 75 940. We'll be back after the break, and we will be talking about the Emirates FA Cup. Is it a waste of time, or is it still relevant? You're listening to ABN Radio UK. We'll go to adverts very shortly, but my producer's doing that little thing that you may know in TV and radio where he says carry on talking, which is quite easy for me really, because I'll just bring up the North London derby again and make everybody listen to that. Only joking. As I say, we are going to talk about the Emirates FA Cup when we come back. It's a very, very interesting subject. People want people to respect the cup. The question is, do teams respect it? We'll find out after this short break.
ABN TV, your favorite black channel, has launched ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. In 4 easy steps, you can listen to ABN Radio on DAB in your car and home. Step 1. Select DAB from the menu on your car stereo or choose DAB from your car's media center. Step 2. Press Auto-Tune, Auto-Scan or the retune button for a full scan. Step 3. Select ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station. Step 4. Relax and enjoy the very best in Afrobeats, gospel, R&B, hip-hop, talk shows and more. Listen and engage with our amazing presenters. That's just 4 easy steps. If you've got only FM and AM receiver in your car, you can obtain a DAB converter from High Street Electronic Stores. Call 0208 671 9777 for more information. ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
It's very scary to get onto the property ladder.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
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 No, it's not.
Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not.
Lay away your fears about the property market. Watch out for the new property and lifestyle show in association with On Point Property Limited, coming soon on ABN Radio, London's Afropolitan radio station.
Consider that life wasted. Consider the heart of the family ripped apart. Consider the potential never realized. Are these the things you consider when you carry a knife? It's not about street cred or respect. It's about staying alive. Drop that knife and save a life. Quentin Slowly, supporting all family and young people.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy UG Official. And right now you're tuned into ABN Radio. Make sure you don't touch that dial. Stay tuned.
You are indeed tuned to ABN Radio UK. This is Michael Kitchener with Sports Link Up. Special guest host apparently this afternoon. I don't know about special guest. I think people would be disappointed if it was billed as a special guest and I turned up, but never mind. I'm talking about you, Jordan, because I know you're watching. I'm still joined by Chris and Damali. And before the break, I teased you with the FA Cup. Now, the FA Cup is something for me, as a Spurs fan, that we have a rich history. We've won it 8 times. You know, yes, Arsenal have won it more, Chris.
When was the last time?
1991.
Okay.
But we'll move on from that. I was born, so, thanks for that. Appreciate it. And you can decide if you watch online who looks younger, me or Chris. Now, let me run you through the Emirates FA Cup. This week, we've got Chelsea, Hull, Leicester, Sheffield United on Friday night. Sheffield Wednesday Swansea is the 12:30 lunchtime game on Saturday. Brighton Coventry, West Brom Southampton are your 2 3:00 games. Huddersfield Man United is your 5:30 game. Rochdale Spurs is your 4:00 game on Sunday. Wigan Man City is your Monday night football, although it's on BBC One, so it's a slightly different Monday night football. We will cover all of it on the Voice of Sports show on Saturday afternoon, 4 till 6, right here on ABN Radio UK. You can join Rodney Hines, and I might even pop up every now and again on there as well. So do join us this Saturday, where we'll cover everything that's gone on so far and the amazing 2 3:00 kickoffs that we've got on Saturday. And that's my problem, Chris. There's 2 3:00 games on Saturday. Yes, there's the Championship. Yes, there's the lower leagues. But as a spectacle, should we be having more than 2 3:00 games on a Saturday?
Absolutely. I do think so. I feel like too many football fixtures are manipulated for TV. And it's not fair on the match-going fans because they are what football is all about. I remember watching a game recently. I can't remember who it was with, but there were no fans in the stadium. It was Barcelona versus someone, and the whole atmosphere was completely different. And when you actually go to a game and you're there at moments, like, for example, I've been in White Hart Lane when we've got a last-minute winner, and it is absolutely electric.
Okay, Chris is coming off the show now. But Damali, Chelsea are playing Hull on Friday night. BT have moved that for their TV game. If you are a normal person and have a normal job, as a Hull fan, you're not going to be able to get to that Chelsea game, are you? Because you're going to finish work at 5 o'clock. There's no way you're getting to London for 7:45.
Yeah, as Chris said, it's ridiculous. You know, I mean, the TV companies, the way they're running the Premier League and the FA Cup, it's ridiculous. Like they schedule these games with no comprehension of the fans, whether or not they can get there, how they're going to get back home. It's completely ridiculous. That's something that they need to look into, the FA.
Well, you look at Sunday night. Spurs are going to Rochdale. The kickoff is 4 o'clock. The game will finish at 5:45. We all know what it's like getting out of a game 6:30. Trains back to London. Look, I get it's on BBC One. There's national coverage. You can watch it. But if you want money in the game, you want fans to turn up for the stadium. Is this why people are not that bothered about the FA Cup? Because the scheduling of it is stupid.
But then you have silly schedules in the Premier League as well, and people seem really bothered about that. I remember the season when Leicester won the title, and I had to rearrange work.
Yep.
All of a sudden, because they want to put the game at 12 o'clock on a Sunday when I've planned on 12 o'clock on a Saturday when I've planned it around the Sunday. So I've said, I can work on Saturday. No way I'm missing that game with that kind of title race at the moment. All of a sudden, I'm having to. This is one of the minor complaints. I'm having to ring people up saying I can't do this. I've got to move it to here, and it's just not fair on the fans, and it's really, really frustrating. I mean, there was a time when we played Man United. I think it was a kickoff Monday, 8 o'clock kickoff Monday night.
Yeah.
Last train back's at 9.
Yeah.
So last train back's before the game's even over, and it's not fair.
And this, Damali, is the problem. The FA Cup should be a showpiece occasion. The final is now been moved from 3 o'clock to 5:30 on a Saturday. Again, that's for television, for the mainstream audience, and it's on prime time. I understand that kind of, because I do a little bit of TV work. However, as a fan, it's a joke, isn't it? Surely.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I remember a few weeks ago, one of my mates, he went to see Arsenal away to Swansea.
I bet he enjoyed that.
Tuesday night, all the way up to Swansea. He got back home about 3 o'clock in the morning. And he
Yeah.
had to work the next day.
Yeah, and this is the problem. They don't.
Ridiculous.
And again, I say normal jobs because I don't do a normal job, because obviously we all do different jobs and stuff like that, and I work at different times. However, if you want your showpiece occasion to really take centre stage, my then next point is, we have this, we then have the quarterfinals. The quarterfinals are on the match week 29 or 30 of the Premier League. There are Premier League games that day. If, for example, so Spurs are supposed to play Newcastle that weekend. It's supposed to be a 3 o'clock kickoff at Wembley on the Saturday. It's been moved for Friday night football to 8 o'clock on the Friday. You buy your ticket, you arrange your trains, etc. However, if Spurs then beat Rochdale, Spurs are playing an FA Cup game that day, and it won't be on the Friday night because everything else will be moved around. How is that treating the fans fairly, Chris?
It's not fair, because a lot of fans will have already bought tickets. They would have already bought hotels. They would have bought trains. They would have planned their lives around that particular fixture. And bearing in mind that Newcastle is a huge footballing club, and they will have shows of fans. It's in London, right?
It is, yes, at Wembley, yeah.
And they will have shows of fans. And once again, it's the whole big Wembley day out. A lot of Newcastle fans might never have seen Wembley before.
Well, this is the point. And actually, a lot of people had already planned for their big day out, because it was a Saturday 3 o'clock game. It's been moved to Friday night 8 o'clock because Sky want to show it, and fair enough, they pay a lot of money. And later on this afternoon, we're going to find out who's got the Premier League rights. We may be having a discussion on Saturday's show about it. There could be a package of games going to Amazon and to Facebook, which will be very interesting. There will also be a package of Saturday 7:45 games. Now, we've just sat here and you said to me, Damali, that your friend got back at 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes, it's a Sunday, but people work on a Sunday. So if we have a 7:45 kickoff on, let's say it's Spurs Newcastle, on a Saturday night, those Newcastle fans will leave Wembley, which, trust me, I'm a season ticket holder, is not easy.
It's a nightmare. I live in Wembley. It is nothing but a nightmare getting out of that place.
Well, after the Real Madrid game, I got on a tube at 5 to 12. That game finished at 9:30, and I got on the tube just before midnight. So, to get back up to Newcastle and everything, the FA are a joke with this scheduling, aren't they?
It's absurd. 7:30 kickoff on a Saturday afternoon.
It's impossible to do it on the train. You simply will not get. It's Euston and King's Cross. You won't get to Euston or King's Cross in enough time. It is a fairly straightforward journey, but what happens if it takes 2.5 hours? I mean, I've got home from a game at 2 a.m. and it was North London derby in Tottenham, because we got penned. You have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. The Arsenal fans were kept behind for reasons.
Security reasons, yeah. We won't go into it. We'll call it security.
And I got home at 2 in the morning. I'd work at 7 o'clock the next day. I can't exactly ring up my manager and be like, oh yeah, I was watching the football yesterday. I'm not going to make it in. So I've had to wake up, and it's had a knock-on effect. And bearing in mind that people are giving up time with their families, they're taking time off of work to get to these games. They plan it around a particular time. All of a sudden, the whole time's changed because people all over the world want to watch it. People who don't have the same intent to go to games want to watch it. And if you're a fan, Saturday 7:30 around your house with all your mates, that's perfect.
Fantastic. Before the boxing or something like that.
Exactly.
You're
Before
all
the
over
boxing,
it.
you're laughing. But if you're a Newcastle fan and you go to every away game as standard, that's going to be a complete nightmare, and it's a long, long way back up the A1.
I think so.
London.
And both of you hold that thought, because we're going to come back to that, because I want to talk the last 10 minutes about the FA, the rights for the Premier League. The bunch of teams that are in there, Damali, who wins the FA Cup for you? Is it as straightforward as Man City win it?
I think so. I think they have a very good chance, but I think Man United will also have a say in that, and perhaps Tottenham.
I like that. Chris, obviously Arsenal won't be winning it. Went out to Nottingham Forest in round 3, so the holders are out. Who do you fancy?
Tottenham, Manchester City, Manchester United. I think they're going to be the 3 candidates. I'd love to see a final involving any of those. I think a Manchester final would be amazing, but Tottenham at the moment, as much as it pains me to say it, they're involved in a final. It's a big final.
The way it works out in my head is it's a Spurs-Brighton final because Man United can draw Man City in the next round, and then Chelsea can have another team like Leicester or something. They can all knock each other out, and then we'll maybe play Swansea or something in the semi-final. I've got it all mapped out in my head. But anyway, we'll move on from the FA Cup. You can hear, as I said, those games live on Saturday afternoon on ABM Radio UK. Rodney Hines will be here for the Voice of Sport show, so make sure you join us for that Saturday at 4 p.m. Now then, boys, this afternoon, in fact, about an hour after this show finishes, we will find out where the rights have gone for the Premier League. At the moment, 6 packages are held by Sky. 2 packages are held by BT. Now, I've been at Sky this morning, and it's a very, 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 very nervous atmosphere because it's jobs, it's executives, it's subscriptions. It's a big, big day for the TV companies. Now, for the fans, as I said, there will be 7:45 kickoffs on a Saturday. There are 19 7:45 games. There are also, bear this in mind, Facebook, there is a potential social media package. However, their caveat to this is there will still be a blackout at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'll come back to that point in a minute. So there will be no games technically shown at 3 o'clock. We're not obviously including illegal streaming, which I can't go into. But there will also be, on midweeks and bank holidays, there will be access to every single game. So when there's a full Premier League programme on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, you can do what they do in Australia, in America, in the Middle East.
Everywhere except here.
Correct. You press your red button and you get the game you want. So personally, I watch the Spurs game. I'm sure, obviously, Chris, you watch the Arsenal game, etc. Now then, is it about time, Chris, that we scrapped 3 o'clock Saturday blackout and we just let people have a match choice? Soccer Saturday is great. The Voice of Sport show is great. But do we not need that 3 o'clock blackout lifted?
I feel like we do, yeah. I feel like it's been in place for so long now. I remember talking to my dad about it, and he's like, there's never been games at 3 o'clock on a Saturday for as long as I can remember. He's significantly older than all of us in the studio here. And one of the reasons, supposedly, is because they want fans to get into the stadiums, but you're making it difficult to get us when it's not convenient for you, if that makes sense. So I feel like we should have a match choice. I feel like I should be able to wake up on a Saturday. Like my cousin, he lives in Canada. He says he wakes up, he's eating his breakfast at 8 in the morning, and he's sat there and he can watch any Premier League game that he chooses at Saturday 3 o'clock, which is the majority of the games, because you got your morning slot and you got your evening slot. Obviously you have Super Sunday, and like you say, Voice of Sport is fantastic, Soccer Saturday is fantastic, but I feel like as fans who are dedicated to the sport more so than a lot of other places in the world, I feel like we should have a choice on Saturday.
Now, Damali, obviously their caveat to that is they're going to let us it's our teams, it's our league, watch the midweek games, all of them. So we're going to have the choice of all 10, we press the red button, blah, blah, blah. That's absolutely fine. So my question is that a good compromise for the fans?
In a way, I think it says here the package E, 24 matches will be shown on TV. Now, is that good for the fans? Late afternoon, midweek would work, and I'm not sure.
It's supposedly to give more access. I have to be really careful because obviously working with places like Sky and stuff, I can't go too far into it from my point of view. But from a fan's point of view, you want to see every single second of your team's game, don't you? Surely,
of course, and every week, every single time Arsenal on telly I watch, and when I miss a game I watch it again on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'd love to be able to watch it on Saturday while it's happening, not knowing how it's going to end up. I want to watch the team live, and I won't go into it too much, but for reasons I don't really go to the Emirates Stadium too much anymore. So it'd be nice to actually be able to watch every single Saturday home game because I miss a lot of them.
Well, and Damali, to give you an idea, the cheapest ticket at Wembley on Saturday afternoon was £95.
The cheapest?
Yeah, the cheapest to the non-season ticket holders.
Yeah, the away fans only pay 30.
Yeah, it's a bit of a joke, really, isn't it, from the clubs, because they're lining their pockets. 83,500 were at Wembley on Saturday.
Yes,
you didn't sell it out.
We're not allowed, police restrictions. Thanks for your time, Chris. Chris won't be back ever again when I do the show. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, we can't, because you can't have 90,000 there. For the West Ham game, it was even less. But Spurs have broken the Premier League attendance record 3 times this season. I'll just throw that at you. Yeah, sorry, Damali, carry on.
Yeah, that's some crazy figures, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, it's never going to change. What suits them, they're going to do. We just got to hope that they kind of set it up in a way that is more appealing to the fans. You
Okay.
can't attend the games.
Now, we could end up with a situation. You pay your Sky package, you pay your BT package, we take illegal streaming out completely, let's pretend that doesn't exist. So you pay your Sky, you pay your BT. What about paying another Amazon package? That's £79 a year for Amazon Prime. Or paying a Facebook package, because that will come in as well. Chris is shaking his head vigorously. You're not going to like this announcement, Chris, I feel.
Nah, I don't, because I have a QPR season ticket, which is an expense. I go to as many Arsenal away games. And remember, with an away game, it's not just your match ticket, it's your subsidies, it's your travel, it's everything else. It's the time that you give up, the time that you got to take off of work. And then I pay my Sky and I pay my BT. The amount of money that I spend every month on football is absolutely absurd. And to say, right, now, if you want to watch these games, you've got to pay Amazon. If you want to watch these games, you've got to pay Facebook. I think it's completely and utterly unfair for your average fan.
Damali, are they pricing fans out of the game?
Yes, for a long time, this conversation has been had that they're really actually pricing fans out of football.
Working class fans.
This is it. You know what I mean? Think about, as you said, Sky, BT, that's already enough. Plus the actual fans that attend the games, they're already spending stupid money. And they're going to add Amazon and Facebook to that? It's too much.
Okay, fair enough. First of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us this afternoon. I want you all to do me a favour. Everyone listening to ABM Radio UK now, Sharon Rose is up next with the Cosmopolitan Drive. Now, I've seen Sharon a couple of times before my Saturday show. Just send her a text or give her a call and ask her how Theo Walcott's doing. She's very much a big Arsenal fan. I had to break the news to her terribly that Theo Walcott's moved on to Everton. But if you want your Theo Walcott news, Sharon Rose is first for that. So I would encourage you to stay tuned to the Cosmopolitan Drive coming up next, 3 till 7. Finally, gents, in the last couple of minutes we've got, I want to ask you one more question. I've thrown questions at you. Damali, who's winning the UEFA Champions League this year?
PSG.
Wow, look at that, straight in there. Chris, it's not Arsenal. I'll just remind you they play Thursdays now. But who is going to
know about playing Thursdays?
I would. But not this year, my friend, not this year. Who's winning the Champions League for you?
I've obviously taken Spurs out of the equation. I'd probably have to go PSG. I do see PSG coming forward and taking the title, or Juventus. I see Juventus doing it. Buffon is desperate for his Champions League, and it's his last season. He's not got one. It's the only jewel missing from his crown, and I think he's going to be starving for it. So I'll go Juventus.
So you 100% think Juventus will beat Spurs across 2 legs then? I'm going to pick you up on this point, and I'm going to keep digging on this point. Put a scoreline on it then if you're so adamant that Juventus will win.
I'll go 4-2. I'll go 4-2.
On aggregate or?
On aggregate.
Okay, so how's that breaking down across the 2 games? He's going to do some maths now. Look at his face. Look, he's just working 4-2 out, split 2 ways.
I'll say you get your 2-1 win. You get your 2-1
What, at Wembley?
No. You get your 2-1 win tonight. You get your away
goal. So we're going to win tonight? Oh, no, we get our away goal tonight or we win tonight?
You get your away goal tonight at 2-1. And I think, once again, when you come back to Wembley, 2-1 again. But I think you'll score first, so you have a little bit of glimmer of hope. And I think Juventus will be like, no, we're not having this. We're at Wembley.
Fair enough, you fancy Juventus. Damali, you said Paris Saint-Germain to win it. What if they draw Man City or Barcelona in the next round?
I think they have the firepower to go past any of those teams. I really do.
Just because of the front 3 they've got, or just because of the team around them?
The team around them, let's not make a mistake, they are good at the back as well. But
yeah.
At the top, they have too much.
Okay, fair enough. Now, obviously, it's an exciting time for all you listeners coming out there because Sharon Rose is going to be up next. The lovely Sharon Rose. I said that because she walked into the studio. But the lovely Sharon Rose is going to be up next with Cosmopolitan Drive. I want to thank you all for tuning in this afternoon on ABM Radio UK. Chris, thank you for letting me take your show for an hour. It's very kind of you, sir.
Anytime. Thank you for going slightly easy on me about the whole Derby situation.
Yeah, I wasn't going to come here and gloat. I thought it'd be nice. As I've said, listeners, if you're up next, I want you to drop a WhatsApp or a text to Sharon asking her for the latest Theo Walcott news. I want to make sure that she really lets everybody out there know. Obviously, we know he's gone to Everton now, but she was very, very upset when I saw her on a Saturday, and she found out that she was going on. Sharon, are they going to update them on Theo Walcott?
Definitely not.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm going to WhatsApp anyway. So
yeah, just everyone text and tweet Sharon for me and just asking her about Theo Walcott. That will make me a very happy man. Damali, thank you for your company this afternoon, sir. Really appreciate it. It's good to see you. Thank you for your European roundup.
Very much appreciate
No doubt we'll speak on the phone next week as we normally do, yeah?
Do.
Okay, I very much look forward to it. Guys, don't forget, please tune in to my normal show. Saturday afternoon, I need you to listen in to the Voice of Sports show with Rodney Hines and myself. Look, Sharon's even put the mouse on for me. I love Sharon. How nice is Sharon? In the last 5 seconds I've got, thank you, Ken Taker, for producing a great show for me. I will see you on Saturday afternoon. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Damali. Stay tuned. Sharon Rose is up next.